So today I'm going to talk about PCOS, also known as polycystic ovarian syndrome. Um, I'm going to give you a short story on my diagnosis of that. As I've mentioned a million times, I was trying really hard to lose weight for a really long time, and I was eating better, and I was working out 5 days a week, and I would go 1 week losing a quarter of a pound, 1 week maybe losing a pound, the next week gaining 2 pounds. My doctors were stumped because none of my levels for anything came back high enough to like alarm anybody. My blood pressure has always been like 112/74, pretty decent blood pressure. My cholesterol was a little high, but wasn't alarmingly high. My sugar levels, I never tested positive during my pregnancies for diabetes. Afterwards, my levels were fine. Every once in a while they'd be high, but it'd be right after I had a doctor's appointment after lunch or something like that when your sugar levels do tend to go up. I have had scopes put down my throat to look for gastroparesis, to look for cancer, to look for some other stomach disorder or mass that could be complicating my food intake. I have had tons of blood tests, tons of body scans, and they couldn't come up with anything that was wrong. They just knew I wasn't losing weight and I should be. I literally had a personal trainer that would sign off for my doctor to let him know what I did for a workout, so my doctor could figure out how many calories I burned. I was writing down everything that went into my mouth, no matter whether good, bad, indifferent. I was, this was like 6 months of trying and nothing really changed. And the doctor said, I just don't know what to tell you. And about 2011, I had an issue with my monthly thing where I didn't stop bleeding for 2 weeks, and I ended up passing out because my iron levels got too low, and going to the emergency room, and that's when they diagnosed me with having polycystic ovarian syndrome, but told me to follow up with my counselor. And so basically, not counselor, my gynecologist. So basically, I went to my gynecologist, and she did some follow-up testing and confirmed that I had it. But at that time, she told me there was nothing I could do. There was no treatment. There was nothing to help anybody who has PCOS. You just have to work harder. Which, when you've worked as hard as you can for 6-8 months and gotten zero results, ended up basically where you started out, it's frustrating. And so, what showed there's nothing that I could do about it, I did. I gave up. I stopped trying. My goal was to just not gain more weight, to try to stay where I was at. Like, I figured that's the best I could do. And that's pretty much what I've been doing until I went through my depression last year. But also during that time, I found out around July or August that there was stuff I could do for my PCOS. My doctor told me that I could take metformin that would lower my insulin levels and let my body work more naturally to clear out things like the sugars and the stuff I don't need in my system that's creating more fat. So I had agreed to take it when I went through my depression. I completely stopped. I took it for maybe a month, and I really didn't see a big difference, but it was only a month, and usually it takes a little bit more than a month for medicine to really get going in your system. So I went through my 5-month depression. In January, I started taking my metformin, but honestly, I wasn't taking it super regularly. But when I don't take it, like if I take it for a few days and then I don't, I feel different. I don't feel as well. So I know it's helping me. So that's why I've tried to be really, really stringent on it. And honestly, I've sucked at that. I haven't done great at taking it. I don't do great at taking medication. I'm not a huge fan of medication. But in the last month-ish, maybe a couple weeks, I've kind of come to this conclusion that, yes, I've done a lot of this weight loss despite not being consistent with my metformin. But I fully believe, even if I was being inconsistent, that if I wasn't taking it, this may not have happened as much. That being said, the symptoms of PCOS that I have are infertility, miscarriages, um, depression, anxiety, skin tags. I have those on my arm. Right here, I have little skin tags that are coming up. Facial hair, which I have here and here. I haven't shaved for a couple days, so I was hoping you guys would be able to see it when I did this video. I don't know if you can or not. But I do have facial hair. Hair loss. My husband can tell you I wash my hair like every 3 days because my hair is very ethnic, kind of. I usually go to ethnic hairstyles because of the way my hair is. And I will take out clumps of hair. And it does make me cry because I'm always concerned that I'm going to wake up one day and not have hair. Because I do lose so much hair sometimes. But I've been lucky so far. The high cholesterol, my cholesterol is not super high, but it is higher than it should be. Insulin resistance, I know I have that. I just went through a bout with ovarian cyst, but not everybody who has polycystic ovarian syndrome gets noticeable cysts. So you could have them and never ever know. They may just be really small. My daughter also has PCOS. She had one the size of a softball in her stomach. When it burst, literally within 30 minutes to an hour, her stomach which had been like really like kind of bloated-y, but she thought she just was getting fat. Literally, she went down. Her pants that she'd been wearing were too big. When it did finally burst, it's super painful when it bursts. You have to be very careful if you have large ones, though, especially if they're on the outside of your ovaries, because you can get this thing called torsion, where it can twist your ovary and it can cause tons of complications. So it's something you have to kind of monitor. It can cause diabetes. I am not diagnosed with diabetes. It can cause cancer. I am not diagnosed with cancer, and I hope I never am. And it does cause weight gain and fatigue, which I do get both of those. And it also can cause fatty liver disease, which I can't see my liver, but I would assume it probably is. They say that 1 in 10 women suffers from PCOS. And so I always suggest to people that if you have these symptoms, talk to your doctor. Because your doctor can help guide you with what you need to try to make your health better. Because something like PCOS can cause things like cancer. It can cause other things. It can cause diabetes because of your insulin levels. Will I ever be off metformin? I don't know that answer. I don't know. That being said, the other part of PCOS, what causes like the hair growth and stuff like that. Some women get hair on their chest or their back. I don't have that. Just on my chin and my mustache area. And part of the issue of PCOS is that your ovaries actually produce androgens, which is like a testosterone. So what I'm going to be trying coming up soon, and I did discuss with my doctor, and she said, there's nothing wrong with trying it. It's all natural. It's not going to hurt me to try it. Well, first of all, most people are deficit in magnesium. So I am going to start taking magnesium and selenium as well as licorice root. Now, I don't know if these work. I am not saying they do. I am going to try them myself. If y'all want to know, let me know below. When I go a month on it, maybe 2 months, I will let you know what I come up with. But that is what I've ordered to try because based on all the research that I've done, those are the 3 that I find that are listed as decreasing testosterone levels. Also mint tea, like spearmint tea or peppermint tea. So I'm also probably I have some peppermint tea, so I'm just going to be trying drinking that every day. Kind of tastes like dirt, so we'll see. But But that's what I'm doing to try to counteract some of what my body is doing to me from this disorder or this syndrome, I guess. And it's not awesome. It's not fun. It means that I have to work harder than other people. So if someone else can do a 30-minute treadmill run and burn tons of calories, I have to do an hour. Whereas other people might be able to like go off their eating plan or their way of eating for a week or two and have no counteractive to it, I have to be very mindful of what I'm eating. I have to keep my calories where they need to be. I can't, have a day where I eat double my calories or anything like that. I have to be very cautious. Most studies now are saying that PCOS is genetic, but it's not that you just get it from your mom. You can also get it from your dad. He can carry the gene for it. I don't know if this is true. I'm not a doctor, but that is what the research has told me. And that is what my doctor has said, is they believe it's genetic. Now, my mother does have cystic kidneys, I think. She has some sort of cystic disorder. And she may have PCOS. I don't know that. She's never been a big person. So if she does, then that never affected her weight. But I just know my daughter has it and I have it. And, studies are saying that it's genetic. Now, could it also come from the things we're adding to our foods or other things? Sure, it could. It could be a combination of biology and environment. But I'm not a doctor and I don't do the studies and I just don't know that answer. The one thing I can say about having PCOS is at least knowing what it is and knowing what it causes and knowing that there is something I can do makes me feel less trapped. Because since I was diagnosed in 2011 until last year, 2018, so for 7 years, I felt like I was trapped in something that I couldn't get out of. That the syndrome was just going to make me sicker and sicker. And no, it wouldn't be something that would, take my life directly, but it could cause something that could. Sorry, guys. I have been outside driving people around today and I'm really wheezy. But yeah, I don't know the right answer. I don't know, I don't know what to tell people other than if you have these symptoms and you struggle to lose weight, talk to your doctor. Ask your doctor, could this be PCOS? Have them review the symptoms. Have them test your A1C. Have them make sure they rule out your thyroid, because some of the symptoms are like a thyroid condition. Also, I might not have mentioned this, but acne is also another symptom. I used to get a lot of acne, but since I've been on the metformin, I haven't gotten it as much. Just here and there every once in a while, so that's a good thing. Growing up, I wasn't someone who got a lot of it, so I kind of feel like I'm on a good level with that right now. But there was a period where I was getting them all around my, the T-zone area so much, and on my chin. I used to get them so much on my chin. But since I've been on the metformin, even though inconsistently, I have noticed a staunch decrease. The other thing, too, is on my face right on here, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, I have a dark spot. That is also a PCOS symptom, having dark spots and skin tags. Now I know my grandmother on my dad's side has skin tags, but I don't know, and she's always had a weight issue, but she didn't have an infertility problem, so I don't know if she has PCOS and just never got diagnosed. I just don't know that answer. So anyhow, so that's what life with PCOS is. It's meaning that you never know if you're going to get it that month or if you're not. You don't know when you get it, if it'll be a couple days or if it'll be a couple weeks. And like my doctor said, once it goes past 7 days, you need to be seen. I let it go too long and ended up almost being impatient. Like it was bad. But on the other end of it, the reality is that you're not alone. And there's a lot of us, if it's 1 in 10 women. And if you're someone with PCOS who is trying to have a child, it's not insurmountable. There is a thing called progesterone they can put you on that will help manage your cycles and can help with fertility. When I have my really long issue months where they're concerned about my iron levels and my health, they do put me on that to stop the cycle. And it takes a couple days and then it's usually fine. There is another medication that, people talk about, but I refuse to take. It's basically a diuretic. And it's supposed to also help with like the excess hair. But I don't want to take a diuretic. I'm trying to lose my weight the right way. And yes, that could be me being stubborn, but I don't want to be on a diuretic for the rest of my life. I don't want that as part of my regime. If I have to have metformin to keep my insulin levels low enough to be able to maintain my weight loss, then I will. If one of these supplements I'm going to start taking works and keeps me from having to shave every day or two, like I'm a dude, I probably will continue to take that too. Those are the things that bother me the most, is the increased insulin levels, because that does affect the fatty liver disease. It does affect, the ability to develop cancer and diabetes. And being overweight also can cause diabetes and cancer. So I have a much higher risk than just a regular overweight person because I have PCOS, and I know this, and it scares me so much. But I'm doing everything I can to not be the fat person anymore, and to take medication that will lower my insulin levels and hopefully avoid those things. The reality is it something I live with, and knowing now that it's not insurmountable, knowing that there is some research being done and there is some medical stuff going on. No, there's probably never going to be a quote unquote cure for it, but if it can help, if something like metformin can help me level out my insulin levels, when I work out, I make a difference in my body, then that's what I need to do. And I am dedicated in saving my own life, and that is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it smart. I'm not going to be irrational. I'm not going to do something crazy. I'm just going to live my life and use the resources available to help me do that. Because 7 months ago, I needed a scooter to go to the store. And this shirt right here, I had to stop wearing because it was too small. And now it's actually too big. It's still wearable because it's one of those, like, I'll hold it aside. It's like a really long, like, flowy shirt. But I bought it because I was super fat, and I kind of want to try to hide my fat when I went into work. And I worked somewhere we had to kind of dress nicer. And this was like a really cute little top. It had a little lace right here. I'd wear a tank top underneath because you can kind of see the lace a little bit. And plus I liked it because it was Bama colors. I just needed this to be red, but it wasn't. That's okay. But yeah, I'm able to wear things more comfortably. This shirt is like as comfortable as a nightgown now. Whereas before it was stretching and pulling, and I'd be constantly doing this because it would be pulling across here and it would be crooked, and I'd have to keep doing this to try to pull it out of my armpits. And the changes that have happened in my life in the last 7 months are amazing. And nobody did it for me. I did it for myself. I faced the things I needed to face that I hadn't yet faced. I made the decision to save my own life. And I made the decision that if there was no one else that was going to support me, I was going to support myself. I love my husband dearly, but he doesn't know how to support me in this. He supports me how he can. So he's willing to eat what I'm eating. The whole house has changed how we eat. Suckers down to like nothing in size, because of course men lose weight so much easier than we do. But he has been okay with going dairy free. He's been okay with going non-GMO. He's been okay with, he used to like to bring home like Nutty Buddies and stuff like that. And he doesn't do that now. And I think he probably can at this point because I don't think I would be tempted. The last time I tried to have something sweet, it made me just want to throw up. I took one bite and handed it to him. I was like, nope. So I think I'm now at a point where that stuff is just no longer interesting to me. But when I'm frustrated or when I'm struggling, he doesn't know how to help me. I kind of wish there was a program out there for people who are losing weight to help their spouses, because my husband is super supportive in the ways that he can be, but sometimes in the ways that I need him to be, and I can't put into words what I need from him, he doesn't know what to do. And part of that's just being a guy, and part of that is just he didn't come from a family of overweight people. He hasn't been married before me. There's a billion reasons why it's a struggle. He also has Asperger's, so sometimes he doesn't know the cues of what I'm going through, and he tries though, and that's half the battle. He tries. But yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. But I figure if I can be a support to someone else who doesn't have a support system, or someone else who is finding out maybe they have PCOS and following up with their doctor and getting diagnosed and is feeling the frustration of that, if I can be a support to them, then that's what I'm here for. I am here to help other people who are like me. Like, that is my end goal. So, yeah. I'm going to end this because I've gone way over what I wanted to do. But that's my life with PCOS, and that's what PCOS is. And I really hope people in my viewing group don't have it, but if you do, my Instagram's below. If you ever get frustrated, need to talk, shoot me a message. If I'm working or sleeping, I won't answer you right away. But as soon as I know that I have a message, I will respond to you. My Instagram doesn't always tell me I have messages, by the way, so sometimes I have to check it a couple times a day. So you may have to wait till I check it for that day because it doesn't always tell me that I have a message. So I'm not ignoring you. I just don't get notified all the time that I have messages. So anyhow, I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Happy Saturday, and I will see you guys on Monday. Bye, guys.